Basically, you're not going to grow very much in your life unless something is pushing you to grow. Something has to be forcing you. Now, that could be some external pressure, like, someone in your family dies and now you have to work extra hard to pay the bills. It could be something like that. But really, that's not ideal. What's ideal is for your own ambition to push you, for your own ambition to have you make bold decisions that put you into challenging situations that then force you to become tougher and to grow. And if you don't do that, if all you're doing is just sitting at home and reading books and watching spiritual videos, that's not going to be enough to actualize your full potential. You need some kind of medium that's going to push you forward, that you're working in. You need some kind of challenge, some sort of like larger objective. Remember, we talked about the hero's journey. I have an episode called The Highest Hero's Journey. We also talked about the hero's journey a lot in my life purpose course, if you've checked that out. So if you remember with the hero's journey begins with a bold decision. The hero has to accept the call to adventure. He has to accept the journey. And usually the hero, in a good, proper hero's journey story, refuses the call multiple times until he's forced into it, forced into accepting the call. So I want you to think about, where in your life have you been stalling and refusing the call of your hero's journey? Because it seems as though like, well, yeah, the hero's journey sounds so exciting and adventurous. Why would the hero refuse the call? But see, that's kind of a cartoon version of the hero's journey. The reality of the hero's journey is that to accept the call, this is usually you're accepting something uncomfortable, scary, difficult. And your mind doesn't want to accept that because your mind is lazy and it's comfortable where it is. So what I'd like you to do is to contemplate the following question. What is the default trajectory of your life right now? If you don't make any more bold decisions going forward, if all you do is you just keep doing and following the trajectory or track that you're on, what is that? Where's that track going to lead you? Contemplate that. And ask yourself, is that going to be the actualization of your highest potential? Is that going to be something that you're truly satisfied with? And then contemplate the next question. What are some bold decisions you could make to shift this default trajectory into something higher? I want you to become very mindful of how you stall out your life by being indecisive. Now, when you're making decisions, what's really going on is that each decision you make is based on honoring certain values. Every decision is saying yes to one value and no to some other value. Now, the problem is that most people are making decisions unconsciously. You need to start making conscious decisions, and you got to become very conscious of what values your decisions are honoring. Because usually when you make a decision, it's not explicit in your mind that, oh, this decision here, like my decision to go to a party is honoring the value of blank, whatever that is. Usually it's like, or like my decision to order a pizza and sit on the couch and veg out for 10 hours watching Netflix reruns of some show and eating a whole pizza, that's honoring a certain value and that's dishonoring some other value. And then the quality of your life is really just a direct reflection of the decisions you make and whether they're honoring your top, let's say, 10 values. And as long as you're making decisions that are dishonoring your top 10 values, then you're going to have a miserable life and you're going to hate yourself and you're going to hate your life. And eventually it's going to lead you to depression and even suicidal thoughts. So the idea here is very simple. Make decisions that align with the principles of self-actualization, what we call the good life, truth, love, consciousness, and selflessness. This, and also with health. This would be the recipe for creating the good life. Now, why is making decisions so important? Is because you need to focus your energy as much as possible at one point. This is a core principle of strategic thinking. It's called the concentration of force or focus. Remember, I have an old episode called How to Be a Strategic Motherfucker. Very aptly named. It's all about strategic thinking. There I outline the principles of strategic thinking. It's a very important episode. Go watch that. And one of the first principles of strategic thinking is the concentration of force. It's also about how you're allocating your finite resources. See, creating greatness requires focus. And you have finite resources at your disposal. Your resources are basically time, energy, money, and your health. These are your resources. How are you going to allocate them? What are you going to transmute those resources into, if anything at all? How are you going to invest them? What are you going to get for them? For your time, your money, your energy, your health? What are you going to get in return over the next 10 or 20 years? Now, I've talked about this topic of investing in the past, and I have a few more episodes I want to shoot about that because it's such an important topic because people are generally such poor investors in their own lives. So making good decisions is really about making good investments. And what are the best investments you can make in your life? It's honoring your top values, which of course means you have to know what your top values are.